Coach Forbes, can you hear us?
Yeah, you guys hear me?
Awesome. We are good. Yes, sir. Well, thanks for taking a second. Congrats on the win, and you can go ahead with an opening statement when you're ready.
Yeah, I mean, what a game, what an atmosphere. That's the first thing I thought about this morning was how excited I was for both teams. I know State was already in the semifinals, but I knew it'd be probably the best crowd of the whole ACC tournament. And if you go back and you look at what these guys have been through, and we've seen it firsthand, to not have that atmosphere and to put in the work that they deserved it. I would obviously feel great right now because we had a huge win, one that I thought we needed. In State, man, that's as good an offense in the country, in my opinion. Like, they're as hard a team to get through. We knew it coming in. As good as Love was, you see how tough they are. And I thought Love had really good stuff. So it's a credit to them. I think they have a great team. I respect them, the way they do it. They're an older team, and you do have to give our guys credit. They came ready to play. They jumped on them, big swing of the bat by Mac Horvath. And, I want to give a shout out to Coach Howell. I was more watching the runner around third base, and I didn't see the ball hit like he did. And he was running out there to challenge it. So he saw something, and thank goodness we did. But it was a great win for us, one that I feel like, puts us where we need to be ready for the postseason.
Awesome. We'll take advantage of the raise hand function here. There's a few extra people on here. We'll start with Pat. Go ahead.
Coach, you mentioned how Austin, that stuff was really good. Obviously they did a good job spitting on some pitches, and, maybe the command also wasn't maybe quite there as much as we've seen, especially as of late. I guess what does that really kind of say just about his overall development over these past few years, but especially this season, for him to be able to go out there and still put together such an outing as he did tonight?
Yeah, such a competitor. And I know you guys have heard me talk about this before from being a pitching coach for so long. I'm always worried with that extra rest. I know we threw 2 complete games, but that extra day, your stuff can be really good, but you haven't pitched. Perfect rest is 5 days. He had 7. He pitches off 6 the whole year, but he's so competitive. And the biggest situation by far was they had already scored 3 runs, I believe. He had the bases loaded with 1 out, and he struck out Tresh in that 3-2 count. And that can change the whole game if they get a little more momentum. And then he got us back in the dugout, and I think we came back and scored 1 run at least right after that. So he's our horse. Thankful we had him. Could have we possibly start him against Pitt? Yeah, but 4 days, I don't. That wasn't the right thing to do to a kid that's going to pitch in the big leagues.
Gregor, go ahead.
Hey, Scott. I just wanted to know what you told the guys before the game. Obviously, this game was very important for you guys as far as NCAA tournament resume. For State, it wasn't, as far as they're still playing tomorrow. So what was kind of the message going into the game as far as keeping you guys focused on what they need to accomplish?
Yeah, that's a great question. The thing is, we met after we lost to UNCG, and we just talked about where we were as a team. And for us to have any shot to reach our goal, which at UNC is not just to make the postseason, because once you get in, anything can happen. It's to get to Omaha. And I told the guys that goal is still realistic, but only if we play every game like it's the postseason. And that's with Louisville coming in here. Basically, we have to win the series. We have to play well. And we've had that motto every game. They knew obviously that State had won. They knew we couldn't advance. But I explained to them it's not going to matter. It's North Carolina and NC State. And, they're going to play their 9 starters. Obviously, when you're already in, you're not going to throw your weekend starter. But our guys, I heard them talking about, I didn't want to bring it up much because they already knew, but I even overheard them. They came up, one of the players asked me, so we have to beat State to get in. So I just went along with it, even though deep in my heart, I feel like, we finished 18-18 in a really hard league. And the tournament's not supposed to make or break you unless you're way under. So I just said, yeah, I think we do. So, they were ready, they were focused, and they played like it.
Chris, go ahead.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about that first inning. Your offense there, obviously the big blow coming from the grand slam, but it was surrounded by a bunch of guys with a steady head down approach. How proud are you these guys for taking that count deep, getting hit by pitches, taking walks, and death by 1,000 cuts until that big slam, because they were all trying to get it done each and every at bat. That's a heck of an approach for you guys.
Yeah, no doubt. And to get the base load with no outs, it's been a year where we've gotten them loaded with no outs. And when, you look up and early in the season, I think we were at Pitt, and you get one. And, you come in the dugout and you're like, that's probably going to get you, especially against a team like NC State. And I think a big swing of the bat obviously was Danny with the bases loaded. We got one, let a little bit of the air out. And I can't say enough about Matt Horvath. I mean, to have the start he had, and to be the high-profile recruit that he was, to be able to fight through it and not pack it in, and really be one of our better hitters the last month is a credit to him. So that was a huge swing of the bat.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Austin, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. When the bats are swinging like they were tonight, and you've got Austin Love on the mound, I was just curious how confident you feel kind of heading into postseason play against any of the toughest teams in college baseball.
Yeah, I feel like when you get in the postseason, it's such a new season. And fortunately, I've been in it with UNC so often. But I've seen the likes of Fresno State. I've seen the likes of the teams that, they have a decent season at best, but then they start believing, and then somebody steps up. And I'm proud of those guys. I know Gage wasn't great, but I thought Sean Rapp was outstanding. And we have a horse like Austin Love. Everybody you're getting ready to play knows that. And I do feel good about our offense. They've really cut back on the strikeouts. They're moving the ball. They're pressuring defenses. They're having good at bats, for the most part, 1 through 9. So, we need to use that momentum, because you beat a team like State. I mean, like I told you, they were preseason top 5 or whatever they were for a reason. It's the best. It's got to be one of the top offenses, 1 through 9.
Sorry, Pat, go ahead.
Coach, you mentioned, those other relievers who came in tonight, but Caden, you bring him there, big situation there in the 8th inning. And I mean, obviously we've seen him come through so many times, especially early in the year, but, he's been kind of trying to work his way back since coming back from the COVID protocols and everything. I guess just how much confidence did you still have him in that situation? How big is it to see that kind of as we head into hopefully another week?
Yeah, I'm going to credit Coach Fox for preparing me. The last 5 years, I made a lot of those pitching decisions, and they weren't always right, obviously, but you have to be decisive, even more so as a head coach. And it's easy to talk yourself out of it, because Caden's last couple of outings haven't been good. And Coach told me, I said, what's some of the best advice in game you can give me? Now that I'm a head coach, he said, go with your gut. And after that hit, I just thought to myself, Johnny Butler's too good, especially against right-handed pitching. Caden O'Brien's pitched for us in Omaha. I just made that decision, like, okay, I'm going to go with the older veteran guy that has done it. And, credit to Caden, that's Caden, though. He can be that good. And if we can get him going like that, that could be huge, because he had struggled since he had COVID, honestly. And that's probably his best outing since he had that.
Awesome. We'll finish up with these two. Rob, go ahead first, and then we'll finish with Gregory.
Yes, I don't want to belabor the point, but you feel like obviously that your team is firmly entrenched in terms of making the NCAA tournament. Just, I guess, give your thoughts on why you believe that, and then also how the ACC prepared you this season to play against those type of teams.
Yeah, I said it when we finished the regular season. I did feel like we needed to go 4-2. I really felt like that to feel good about going into the ACC tournament. And obviously we came here to win the tournament. It didn't work out, but we sure weren't trying to go 1-1, but we'll take 1-1. But I think if you look at our league, you look at it top to bottom, to play that many games, 36 games, and not be able to, open up with 3 weekends, where traditionally, the teams that are in the ACC, you look at the SEC, they play 3 weekends, and their non-conference strength of schedule for the most part is not very good. And that wasn't the case this year for many of us in the ACC. And for us to be able to get through some things and finish 18-18, but not just 18-18, the fact that we finished 6th. And we finished 6th for a reason. We finished 6th ahead of Virginia, ahead of Louisville, and ahead of Duke, because we beat them in weekend series. And we beat them head to head. Obviously anybody can get hot and win a tournament, but your body of work in a 50-game season, which stunk that we didn't get 6 more games because that can make a difference, but it is what it is. We couldn't control that. I felt like, okay, if that's not a net large selection in a great league, and the reason people can say, well, y'all all finished high. Well, we didn't, because we finished 6th and we beat them head to head. And we also beat Miami in a weekend series. So the only team that finished behind us that we did not beat this year in a series and beat us in a tournament was Pitt, and they finished 10th. And we also didn't, we didn't play Wake Forest. So, I think the resume is good, and I'm also happy. I'm not happy with the losses we had midweek, but we played really, really good teams. And I think that prepares us and helps us be ready for the postseason.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Gregory, go ahead. We'll finish.
Scott, I know you mentioned having a workhorse and Austin Love, but postseason play can be a little bit different as far as playing games in quick succession with high stakes and things that matter. Have you put any thought into how you might use him? Maybe not going a complete game to try to save him, almost like in a reliever role. I know you've had trouble with starters not going very far and things like that, but have you put it into consideration in anything like that?
Yeah, we're definitely going to spend a lot of time looking. Obviously, we know we're going to be on the road, and we're going to take the approach to it that we're going to enjoy that. There's some teams that have had to do that. I use Fresno State because they beat us in 08. They slid in, they went on the road for the region, they went on the road for the super regional. They were on the road, and I think they went straight to Omaha. And they had to make some adjustments. So I'm going to go back and do my research. Your hope is you can get. I don't think we would use Austin Love in that situation because the regional is so compact, unless we just put him in the bullpen. And he's our horse. I think when he starts, he gives us a really good chance to win a game. But I do think with Caden O'Brien throwing like he did tonight, that gives us some flexibility with what we can do in that other starter's role, and that includes Caden. Or possibly a guy like Gage Gillian, if Caden's throwing well, to get us off to a good start. So we'll take a hard look at it once we see who we're playing, and rest assured, whatever we decide is whatever our approach will be to win the regional, and that will be the decision we make.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
You
Thanks,
too.
Scott.
Hey, Mac, thanks for taking a couple of minutes. We'll go ahead and start with Pat.
Hey, Mac, I guess just if you can just take us through their grand slam and on the replay. I mean, did you know it was gone right away, or what was your reaction to all of that?
Yeah, I hit the ball, saw it going, and I think I touched first, and I saw it bounce, and I was like, is that now a home run? And I was like, you have to challenge it. It's the difference between 4 runs and 1. So I was like, turned out in our favor too. So that was good.
Chris, go ahead.
Hey, what's a win like this give you guys as far as juice wise, boost wise for what's to come, especially taking down a squad like NC State the way you did?
Yeah, obviously NC State, it's always a big in-state rivalry between us two. So, doesn't matter the records, throw them out the window. You always want to win that game. But I think definitely moving forward, it's definitely a big boost for us. Playing well. Obviously, we still have things to work on, but it's always good to at least leave here with a win and then on a good note.
Austin, go ahead.
Hey, Mac, speaking of NC State a little bit, how did it feel just to, be able to go out there on your last guaranteed game, I guess, of the season and get the big win against them tonight after being swept by them earlier in the season?
It definitely feels good. When we played them earlier in the season, they definitely got the best of us. We were kind of in a weird spot where we just weren't hitting and weren't pitching well and just kind of finding our groove. But I think right now we're starting to find it and be able to play in all types of situations and win in different type of games.
Gregory.
Mac, did you go into today's game as a team with the mindset that you need to beat State to make the field of 64?
I think it was definitely in the back of our heads. But I think we all mainly we wanted to win more because it was state, and just the rivalry, and knowing that if we do win, that it would help us to make that 64. So yeah, I think it was both.
Awesome. Anything else for Mac? Awesome. Thanks, Mac. Appreciate it. Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, Meg.
Pat, you look mighty tired over there.
I'm exhausted. The AHAD's graduation tonight, so I was at that until 9:30. So
That sounds pretty soft, Pat, honestly. Danny, appreciate it, man. We'll go ahead and open it up, start with questions. Chris, go ahead.
I just want to know how big the baseball looked, because you were squaring it up with everything that was coming through there. Did you do something different pregame or what?
No, just same thing. I've just been seeing the ball well lately, and just not trying to do too much. And at this point, it's just main goal is just trying to win every game. So just keeping that as the main focus, and that's about it.
I asked if I could follow up real quick. I just asked your teammate there about how much juice this gives you moving forward. I know it's the last one here, but to take out a team like NC State, for what's to come here, how much juice does that give you guys for the next step?
Yeah, I mean, they're a really good team. They got a really great offense. So to be able to take them down is obviously huge. And we lost 3 games to them earlier, so gives us a little pep in our step. But it was great seeing guys like Sean Rapp and Caden O'Brien really show it today. I think they're a huge part of our team. So hopefully we can keep them rolling and the offense keep going, and I think we can make a run here.
Great win. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Pat, go ahead.
Danny, just how impressed are you with what Mac has been able to do to completely kind of just transform himself mid-season the way that he has?
Yeah, I mean, I know a thing or two about struggling, obviously, but so to be able to keep his head on straight as a freshman, he's 19 years old, and he started off really cold. I think it was like 1 for like 30 or something like that, and then he waited his turn again when Clem got hot, and just to be able to come back and keep his head level and not trying to get too high, too low. I mean, that's Mac. He's pretty level-headed, and yeah, I mean, that's awesome. He's helping us a lot, and hopefully he can keep it going.
Gregory?
Danny, as a leader of this team, what did you talk to the guys beforehand as far as what this game meant for you guys and your chances going into Monday with selection day?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's super easy to get caught up in like what other teams are doing and, kind of scoreboard watching and seeing who's doing what. But, we pretty much just emphasize to the team that, we can only control what we can control. And that was today's game. And, we knew we were going to have a chance to put up some runs today. And that was pretty much what we focused on. And I'm happy we were able to do it.
And how proud are of you guys just for that first inning? Obviously Max grand slam, but everyone getting on base ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, that was awesome. It was pretty much exactly, how we would have drawn it up if we could. Just applying just pressure immediately and giving us some room to breathe a little bit. But yeah, I mean, everybody seems to be seeing the ball well, so I'm excited to see what we can do here the next step.
Austin, go ahead.
Hey, Danny. Obviously you've been seeing the ball really well lately. Just being kind of a cog in this lineup and a leader going into postseason play, kind of how crucial is it for you to be seeing the ball like you are lately, just kind of leading the team at the plate coming into the next few weeks?
Yeah, well, I feel like I've been missing out most of the year, so I'm happy to be able to contribute a little bit. But yeah, I mean, everybody's got their own part, their own job to do, and I'm happy to finally be contributing a little bit here. And if everyone does that, I think good things can happen for us.
Awesome. Anything else for Danny? Pat, go ahead.
Danny, coach was on here just kind of going through just the overall resume that you guys put together. I mean, for you guys to have gone through the gauntlet that you guys have, facing the ACC teams that you have, as well as, the midweek opponents that you guys had as well, how much do you think that kind of has prepared you guys, to go on a road in a regional?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're one of the only teams, if maybe even the only team that has pretty much seen everything. I feel like we've played such a good schedule, probably, at least top 3 or 5 in the country. So, I mean, we've seen every type of team, we've seen every type of pitcher, we've seen every type of offense. So I feel really good about what we're going, or, us going forward. And I really don't think that there's much that can surprise us. So I think it'll be really beneficial for us.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Danny. Thanks, man.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
You
Thanks,
too.
Danny.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good
Thanks,
night.
Ari.
Thank you. Take care.
Yep. You too.
Thanks, Ari.
You got it.